Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. Another card wall video, panel of 8, although I'll show you 12 or 15 cards because I pick 8. Some of them were on the wall before, some will be on the wall going forward. I'm merging in cards that I get back from BGS periodically. This covers Harrell, which is Graham Harrell, up through Haynes, actually Elvin Haynes, but there are several Hayeses. First of all, Graham Harrell, a local guy, went to Texas Tech, but also was a local high school star and probably going into coaching. And I think he'll be successful. A good conversation piece for my wall since I am located here in Dallas. Thanks, sponsors. That's appreciated. Bucky Harris, I had him on the wall for a long time. Nobody commented because he's not well known. He's in there for being a manager. That's a 53 Bowman black and white, which I thought would be a conversation piece. No one has commented. Devin Harris will be on the wall going forward, 9.5. But more than that, Dell is a good friend, and he doesn't say he's a genius, but other people could say that, especially defensively. But he's such a genius that he was the motivation for Kobe going off against the Mavs. You can read all about it to prove that Dell could not defensive scheme Kobe from outscoring the Mavs all by himself. So that's a great story that Dell can tell. Devin Harris, Mavs player, announcer. I love the autograph on the pebbly surface of a ball, and so that'll be on there. I don't like horizontal, but I'm going to live with it here because I want Devin on my wall. And again, he's a local announcer and a former player. He left, and then he came back, and that's good. Franco Harris, he's on the fence. He was part of the plot of This Is Us TV show, but I enjoyed watching him play, but I was a Cowboy fan, not a Steeler fan. James Harrison, speaking of Steelers, this is his high school card. And he's 6'1", 200. They're talking about him being a potential strong safety. And look what he turned into, just a monster and a very imposing guy. Another Harrison, Marvin. This is his high school card when he was selected for the Big 33 game with Ohio against Pennsylvania. In fact, we wonder if he will be known more as Marvin Harrison Jr.'s dad. But I'll pick this one, even though I think this is a really attractive mirror red premium stock. But the high school cards, I just think are interesting because you see them before they bulked up, but they still have a lot of promise. Gabby Hartnett, if you look at this closely, you can see it's bolder than some of the earlier Callahans. They were put out over a 6-year period, and the later ones have more definition, I think, more descriptive. So this is later. And they were added to this Hall of Fame set as they were elected into the Hall of Fame. But I think Gabby is not going to be on there for long. Mark Harwell, this is a legit card from the Industry Summit. Mark was so instrumental in helping our company get into the 21st century. He was an intuitive marketer and a self-trained digital savant. Really blessed to have him in our company. And he's gone too soon, too early. And so I'm sad about that, but I'm going to keep his memory on there. And he and I had so many meetings with so many hobby people. Any meeting with Mark in it was fun. Doug Harvey, great player. I think that was more of a placeholder. I don't have any connection to Doug Harvey. He's a great player representing the great Canadiens teams, but I think I'll have some other hockey choices farther down the line. John Havlicek, the ComSpec card, very tough card. I do remember him from high school. He was high school not very far away from where I was. He's older than me, but he was a legend even then. And then when he went to Ohio State, he was a legend. I think he was a hard worker. He was a hustling guy, just perpetual motor on. Bob Hayes, talk about motor on. Bullet Bob, I think he actually began the obsession with, there'd be no Tyreek Hill without Bob Hayes. The love affair with speedy receivers began with Bob Hayes, who was drafted by Gil Brandt because he was an Olympic sprinter. Maybe he could catch, and that was the challenge those first years. Was he going to catch it? But he was always behind everybody. Abner Haynes, any legacy of the Kansas City Chiefs comes through the Dallas Texans, and Abner Hayes was probably their first local star coming out of North Texas, and he was a legit star. But at some point, Lamar Hunt just figured out, we're competing against the Cowboys in the NFL. We need to move to Kansas City. But Abner Haynes probably will not be on the wall forever, but he's there for now. Elvin Hayes, University of Houston, when you look at the card back, which I don't show it on the back there, but you can just see he's got 20 plus points a game for seemed like 20 years in a row. He was a scoring machine, and again was the victimizer of UCLA in that January 20th, 1968 game in the Astrodome. So still bitter feelings about that, but Elvin was the better player that night. So I think he'll probably stay on there. I may get a different card, but the problem is I can't do tall boys because they won't fit in my thing. So that's why I've got something like this. So at any rate, that's it. Graham Harrell up through Elvin Hayes, and I will be back again with another episode.